Hi everyone, it's Jody. Welcome to tonight's webinar. We will be talking about Seesaw and looking at the Seesaw challenge for kindergarten through second grade. So this is primarily for our primary school. And so I'm just going to walk you through the challenge, so show you how you can do that yourself in your classroom. I really think the challenge is a great way to introduce your students to Seesaw and also for you to learn how Seesaw works. I found that once we get through these challenges, the students are pretty independent and can get to use Seesaw on their own. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen with you. This broadcast will also be recorded, so it's something that teachers can watch at a later time. So welcome if you're watching at a later time. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Just one quick second here. Just have to remember where to click. All right, so Seesaw, as you know, for Princeton District right now, we are in the middle of, we were lucky enough to get a free ability to have the Seesaw for Schools for the rest of the school year for free. And it's giving us a chance to really be able to find out if that's a good fit for our district. So the more we're using it, the more we can see how this will fit into our district. So a great way to introduce this to your class is to do the Seesaw Challenge. So the Seesaw Challenge, if you signed up for tonight's webinar or if you just contact me and let me know, I will send you a link to this folder called Seesaw Resources. And this has the teacher directions and which is right here, copy of K-2 Seesaw Student Challenge teacher directions, and also the actual coloring page for your students. So like I said, I've done this in a couple different classrooms at the primary and it's gone pretty well. So I'm gonna show you first the teacher directions. The teacher directions really do walk you through step by step of what you'll be doing. So I'm just going to walk you through the map and show you all the different things students will be doing. And hopefully if my iPad works, I will also be showing you on the iPad what that will look like for your students. So these are the challenge directions. To start, you're going to want to print off a game board for every student. I would suggest you do the one sheet, which looks like this. Excuse me. Looks like this. It just prints the whole map on one sheet for your students. You can print this one, but then this is 4 sheets for one student. However, I do think this would be a good one to print off if you want to use this to maybe post in your classroom. And as your class completes each challenge, then you can have this up as a visual for them. And also as a reminder of what they have learned. So if they forget how to do something, maybe seeing the visual will remind them. Okay, so I'm going to go back here to the challenge. And so where we start with Seesaw, the first thing you'll need to do as a teacher, if you haven't already, is once you set up your account, you're going to need to set up your class. Once you set up your class, you can print off a QR code. It's pretty easy. You just go to Join Code on Seesaw. I'm going to show you where that is real quick. I apologize that I don't have that up already. So when you log in as a teacher, if you click on Get Class Code, you can print out this class code poster to hang in your classroom. So I just clicked on print. I just want to show you it does come with some instructions. So it tells you exactly how to use it. You just want to make sure you never post this on social media because then anyone can scan it and get into your classroom, and we don't want anyone who shouldn't be participating in your classroom participating. So once you have that printed, the first thing you're going to do on the challenge sheet is actually talk to your students in your classroom. So this might be something they're very familiar with. I find it's also helpful to bring up baby books and scrapbooks. Students tend to have experience with that, and we talk about how the reason we make those is to keep information from before so we can remember. That's exactly what Seesaw is. It's a way to keep information from before so we can always remember. With Seesaw for Schools, if we keep this, we are able to archive and send on students' information right to their next teacher. So they will always have access to everything they've created in Seesaw. So that's the first thing. And what I do with students, as soon as you have completed number 1 here, talked about the challenge, or talked about what it means to journal, I send them back to their desks, have them color this in to show that they've learned that, and then come sit back down, usually on the carpet. Second is you are going to sign your students up, and you've already signed them up, but now you're going to assign them and let them pick the character that they want. So you'll notice in Seesaw we have all these cute animals, and allowing students to pick their own animal is a really great way for them to kind of identify. They're going to need to know where their name is, and for some students, having that animal there makes it easier. So here's how you'll do this. You will have your students come up to your desk. You will need to be logged in to Seesaw. I hope Tracy doesn't mind that I'm using her class right now. Actually, I'm going to go to my PD class here. Again, I apologize. So what you are going to do is you will click on click on your name, go down to Manage Class. You will click on Manage Students. When you click on a student's name, now you won't have numbers, you'll actually have typed in your students' names. You can click here on icon, and then you can let students pick. Now they can have either their initials, or because I put in numbers for this class, it's numbers, or they can pick any animal. So then you just click it and you click Use Photo. And then it looks like you need to click something else, but you're actually done at this point. So you just click back until you get to your list of students and do the same thing with every student. So this is really fun for them to be able to pick out which animal they want to be associated with. It also makes it really easy for them to find their name. It's okay if there's duplicates, because then they know to look for not only their icon, but to match that up with their name. So that's how you can change that. You can also, if you want, I didn't show this, I'm gonna show you real quick though. If you click on the icon, you can actually use a photo. So if you wanna have the kids take a selfie at your laptop, you can do that as well. I'm gonna back out of here, out of Manage Students. So once students have met with you and quickly, and this happens pretty quick, have them come up, have them pick out their animal, send them back to their desk to color in number 2, that they're just going to color in that they picked an animal. Even if their animal isn't here, they're still going to go back to their desk and color this space in. So that's challenges 1 and 2. Challenge number 3 is that they know to hold their iPad with 2 hands. And so I usually try to kind of amp this up and say, oh, that's right, you already know to do this, because our students have been really good with iPads this year. So they just remind me that they know how to use it, and then I send them back to color in the 2 hands. Number 4 is actually, it's a QR code, but it's not a Seesaw QR code. It's actually a video. So what you would do as the teacher is take your iPad and do the mirroring to your screen, so do AirPlay. Go to a iEnigma or any of your QR reader apps and scan this code. And what it is a quick 20-second video of one of the animals, encouraging the kids and congratulating them on working hard on the challenge so far. So it's really just a fun way to encourage them. It's actually one of the frogs talking to them. So once you watch that video, they can color this in. Number 5, 6, 7, and 8 all go together. This is where they get to do their first post. So this is where I'm actually going to show you on my iPad what it'll look like for a student. I suggest, just from what personal experience, doing this on your smart board with them, watching along so that they can see exactly what to do. So I'm going to just go through the challenge real quick here. So number 5 is we can. Your plus button in Seesaw is kind of going to be your everything. Anytime you need to add an assignment, anytime you need to add an activity, students are going to press the plus button. Then this first challenge is for them to take a picture with a friend. So they take a picture of their friend, hand their friend the iPad. The friend checks off that their name, and then they do that for the other person. So I'm going to walk you through that actually on the iPad. So I'm going to share this screen with you. Give me just one moment here. Right. Okay, screen share. Hi. Let's try that again. All right. Here we go. Okay. So this is what you are going to do with your students. You will tell them to go up to the plus. They will select that. That means they're going to add something. So these are the 6 options they have. So they're going to add a photo to start. And what they will do is then take a photo of their friend. So you have one iPad for 2 students. So they take a photo of their friend. They hand the iPad to their friend. So whoever picture is facing here. That friend then will go ahead and check the check mark if they like the picture, or check the X to do the picture again and repeat the process. Once they check this X, their second job is to pick their name. Okay, now students won't have this, everyone. This is just a teacher thing. So they will check their name. They have to touch right by their name to get the check mark, and then they hit the check mark again. And I always tell students the check mark means I've done what I'm supposed to do. So that's how they know when to hit the green check, is they've done that step. So once they've hit their name, they go ahead and hit the check mark, and then it posts. And I will go ahead and delete that from this kid so he doesn't wonder why that is on there later. Real quickly, kind of a sidebar here, the 3 dots, we call these the 3 magic dots. If you ever need to delete something or edit it, if you touch those 3 dots, you're going to see that you have some editing rights there as a teacher. Students have that too. They don't have as many editing options, but they can delete an item if they want to start over or edit it to change what they did. All right, so this takes us back. So we're going to go back to the challenge sheet here. All right, hello. There we go. Okay, so after they have done that, what they can do is go ahead and color in 5 because they used the plus. 6, they took a picture of their partner took a picture of them. They pressed the check mark to say they liked the picture, and then they found their name on the list. So this is kind of a fun part of the challenge because they get to knock out 5, 6, 7, 8 all at once. Once you've done that, you're going to go down here, and it actually is down here where you're going to start. You're going to go to number 9. And number 9, they are going to take a picture again, but this time they are going to add their voice to the picture. Now, this is a really great feature to use in the classroom, having students take a picture and explain what they like about something, have them take a picture of maybe a book they're reading and then read the book out loud. There's tons of great options you can use with the audio, so it's a great thing to practice. With the picture, it's very similar to what they just did. So again, I'm going to share the iPad screen with you. So I'm just going to change my sharing settings real quick here. Hi. All right, so share, I'm just going to share my entire screen with you. All right, so on the iPad here, what we are going to do is they'll do the same thing. They'll do the plus to take a picture. Then they will go to photo to take a photo. They'll take a photo, and one thing I've done with this one is I've told students to go take a picture of their favorite thing in the classroom and then use their voice to tell me why it's their favorite thing. Okay, so I'm going to take just a quick picture here of something fun in my office. So when students are holding the camera, they just, have to hold it steady. They can push any of those green buttons. And then to add their voice, they're going to select the microphone right down here, and then they just record. So it counts down 3, 2, 1. They do their recording. Once their recording is finished, they hit the pause button. And now they've done what they needed to do. So they go back up to the green check. And then they can check to listen to their recording. If they're happy with their recording, they hit the green check again, select their name, hit the green check again, and they're done. So that green check is every step they have to do that. So that's adding voice to their picture. Anytime they want to start over, they just hit delete and start over by going to the X. Go back over here. So that's number 9. Number 10 is doing a drawing. So in the app, whenever you click on the plus, so if you're here in the feed view, seeing all the students' assignments, whenever you click on the plus up here in the corner, you'll get these 6 options, and one of them is to do a drawing. So they can click on drawing here, and you can really assign anything that you want them to draw. This is really just a great way for them to experiment with drawing. They can change how big the pen is down here. So if they want to have a really thick pen, if they want to have a really thin pen, they can actually do some typing right on their drawing. They can pick the color that they want to draw with, and they can also erase. So the drawing's just a fun way for them to practice drawing tools. You can also have them draw on a picture they take. So where we selected the microphone before, there's a drawing tool on there. It looks like a pencil. They click that. If you take a picture of something, or if they take a picture of something, they can then draw right on that. So maybe circle certain things that they're supposed to be learning about. So when they're done with their drawing, again, they hit the green check mark, and then they would just select their name. So the reason it popped up twice there is because it was showing me my finished picture, and then now they'll let me select my name. After I select my name, I hit the green check mark again. All right. Okay, so if we go back to the challenge here, that's number 10. Number 11, this is another quick video. So you would want to take out your teacher iPad and go ahead and have them watch that. That's just another really short video that congratulates them on now they know how to take a picture, add voice, and do drawing. So next what we're going to do is number 12. So number 12, and I just wanted to show you too on the teacher notes here, it does walk you through every task and what to do. So like task 12 just talks about what makes a really good journal entry, what should go in it. So kind of going through all the different tasks that they have here. So let's see here. I'm just going to go back up to code number 2. All right, apologize there. So number 12, you can have them do a math assignment. So have them actually take out the drawing tool and practice doing a math problem. I think this is another really great use of Seesaw, is having students show what they're learning. So for example, if I go back into my PD class here, if I were to take, add an assignment and add a drawing, depending on your grade level, you could assign them a math problem to work on, and maybe one they write down. So if they're going to do 2 plus 3 equals 5, and then they can maybe draw a picture to go with it. That's just one way for you to see their math practice or their math progress. What's really cool about this too is you can actually have them record what they're writing. So if you hit record here, and then it's going to start recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 plus 3 equals 5. And so I'm going to draw 2 circles plus 3 circles equals 5 circles. Now what's great about this is once they hit the check mark, you now not only have a recording of their voice, but you're going to have a recording of their writing as it's happening. So you can see them solving the problem as they're solving the problem. Another way to do this would be to have a math problem that they would normally do on a worksheet, take a picture of the math problem, but then instead of filling out the worksheet, they take a picture in Seesaw and write right on the worksheet and record their writing. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can see what that looks like, and as a teacher, we don't always get to sit over every student as they're working, so this would be a great way to have all of them recording what they're doing, and you could maybe even see some errors in their reasoning. So when we get down to tasks 13, this is just giving them time to practice with all the different tools that they have and talk about what makes a really good journal for them, what is a good thing for them to actually, place on there, and what is not. So a conversation I like to have is, what are some things that are public information, so things that you can share with everyone versus private that you wouldn't share with anybody. So number 14 here, I apologize, I haven't gotten this far in the challenge yet with a class, so this is actually kind of new to me. So, record a video of the child's hopes and dreams for the school year. So I know we're at the end of the school year, but this could still be a really great challenge for them to think about, what am I hoping to accomplish this year? And even in kindergarten, we know they can set a goal for themselves. So they could record themselves saying what their goal is. And that's just a great thing to put into Seesaw. And then finally, we want to talk to them about, what a good journal looks like. And then secondly, about doing helpful comments and likes. I would suggest maybe at the primary school, turning off the comments and likes until you feel comfortable with that, or you've had that conversation with your students. And you can do that by going into your manage class settings. And you can decide if they're allowed to do likes and if they're allowed to do comments. Sometimes I let them start with the likes because it's just an easy way for them to give positive feedback to their classmates by just hitting the like button. And before I allow them to do comments, we have a really good talk about what's an appropriate comment. Telling someone that they did a good job, telling someone what you liked about their work, not be negative, speaking in English. So, and I say that, I mean, not speaking in like text talk. So actually spelling words out, not using abbreviations for words. And then also not using a ton of emojis. I usually limit students to one emoji. That's just been my rule, and they seem to accept it okay. So that's it. Once you've completed those 16 steps, your students should be very comfortable with Seesaw. And with the directions that you'll have access to, you do have some badges that you can print off for your classroom. Also a certificate of completion that you completed the Seesaw challenge. You could give this to each student. And down here, there's a 4-week lesson guide. Now, again, I know that it's the end of the year, and so this kind of feels like something to be doing at the beginning of the year. However, getting students prepared for next year is always good too. And so doing this 4-week lesson guide is going to be helpful for you because you're going to understand truly how to use Seesaw effectively. But then you are also going to give them some background or some, I guess, front loading for next year to use Seesaw. So I really suggest once you do the challenge to go ahead and check out the 4-week lesson guide because it has some really great lesson ideas and activities to get them practicing Seesaw and also sharing their learning in math and reading and some other subjects. So there's an ELA and a math activity every week that they can complete. So like here's a really good example. Practice counting 1, 2, 3, 4, counting in multiples or counting using manipulatives. So there's some, kids could take a picture of a number line and then that's one way that they could complete that activity for the week. So once you have completed all of your activities, you should be good to go with Seesaw. Now, there are tons of other resources out there that I will be sharing with staff, but if you're really into checking out new and creative ways to use Seesaw in your classroom, I can highly recommend the Seesaw Teachers page on Facebook. Has excellent ideas posted all of the time. Also, following Seesaw on Twitter is a great way to get ideas. And then finally, Seesaw does offer their own webinars, which are excellent. They call them their PD and PJs that you can do every week. They have some available, and I will be posting the calendar into our Seesaw resources folder for other people to use. So if that's something you're interested in, it's a great way to take your Seesaw use to the next level. So that's all I have. I don't see any other questions at this time from the audience. I hope who's ever watching is able to, or whomever is watching, got the information they need. But as always, Princeton teachers, you know that, give me a call, shoot me an email, and we can certainly meet during your prep time to collaborate, or I can come in and co-teach with this with you, to get your students off to a great start. So I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and thank you so much for joining me.